Hey y'all, it's your girl Gianna, and today I'm going to be giving you another jewel from Gianna, and I'm going to jump right into it. Today my jewel is pretty much a question, and the question is whether or not you are surviving or are you thriving. Now I do know most of us, we have a lot of life situations that are pretty much thrown at us, and unfortunately a lot of us can become a victim of whatever our circumstances are. And I feel like when that happens a lot of times, it pretty much puts us in a place where we're just gone. We're in survival mode. So we literally are just worrying about surviving day to day. Um so pretty much you surviving is just pretty much you just basically it's like you're continuing to just literally just exist. You just remaining intact. And the difference between you thriving is actually you prospering and you flourishing. So I feel like the two are definitely a totally different. So what I was doing was just looking up, kind of a few different steps that you can use pretty much to go from you surviving into you pretty much just thriving. Um, so number one is basically you just acknowledging the obstacle within you. So whatever it is, whatever you're dealing with, whatever the situation is, you have to be able to identify that. However it is that you feel necessary to do. You want to just first, number one, you want to be able to identify whatever it is. Number two, make a list of the positive and negative characteristics about yourself. I personally did that myself. I'm hard on myself a lot, but then sometimes I also have not been able to acknowledge, certain traits that I have about myself that are really, really bad. So me kind of coming up with the list of the positive and negative characteristics, about myself definitely did help me a lot. Number three, I believe you should choose one thing at a time. So a lot of times we start focusing on one thing, and then that one thing can come into another thing, and then another thing. And a lot of times the reason why we're not able to necessarily move on to the next step, and go from surviving to thriving is literally because we're trying to pick so many different things to focus on at once. So definitely just focus on choosing one thing at a time. Another step you have to remember is just to know that all change definitely is going to be met with some type of resistance. You just got to remember in the back of your head, when you're doing something, you're doing it for yourself. So don't get distracted by people that are, resisting whatever change that you're trying to make with your life. If you want to make the change, it's pretty much for you. Resistance comes with anything. And just remember the one thing, that resistance is not necessarily about you. It's really about the person, and then really not being able to acknowledge their self and their situations. So again, don't even worry about that. Another step is for you to basically just recognize the help that you need. You may not be able to do it all by yourself. I know for a fact that I wasn't. I tried to, when I got to the point where I was like, I cannot do it on my own anymore. I reached out to, sometimes it's better to talk to people that you don't know. So, whether you want to get a life coach or a therapist or whatever it is, that's another good tool that can definitely be really, really, really helpful for you. Another tool is don't expect immediate praise from people. When you are changing or evolving anyway, I like to use evolve more than change. When you're evolving, there are going to be sometimes where you feel like you want people to just see the change, and I can say it because I've been around plenty of people a lot of times when they would say, I'm just changing, like I'm just so different and whatever. But sometimes you got to let people be able to acknowledge it about you, and sometimes they won't say anything, and that's okay too. They don't have to necessarily say anything. Like, your actions are going to show, your actions and your behavior is going to show the change in you, so you don't even have to worry about that. And last but not least, I would just say learn to be patient with others. So a lot of times when we are evolving or we're changing or whatever, a lot of times we will kind of put that back on people. So because we're doing something, we then want everybody else to jump on the bandwagon and do what we're doing. Well, no, that's not reality. Everybody's going to come into everything on their own. And again, whatever you're focused on doing, then you do it for yourself. It doesn't have to be a group effort. It's not always a we thing. Whatever you want to do for yourself, do it for yourself. You make that change. You're worried about yourself thriving, so that should be all that matters. Again, so those are just some of the tools that can help you go from surviving to thriving. And you guys let me know, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, anything that you feel like will be valuable to me or anybody else that may be listening to this that could possibly help them, start thriving. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific thing you're worried or a specific area you want to thrive in. It could literally just be just you as a human being. So again, that's my tip for today. And just think about it. Are you surviving or are you thriving? It's your girl Gianna. Like, subscribe, comment, and definitely share. And I'm out. I will see you guys next week. Bye.